fucking wires. Aw, damn you!
Would this be of any assistance?
It may be. If I can get this thing to go back on. I need coffee. Knows it's around.
Is it broadcasting now?
No.
Well, it says there's 3 people on.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not live yet.
Oh.
Wait.
It says live.
We're actually live?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you when you pushed it up, I turned it on to.
Oh.
Okay, just a second here, see if I can get my phone.
We don't know we're live.
Yeah. Good thing we had our clothes on. Yeah, we're live. Hey, what's this doing? I don't know what that was.
Commercial?
Yeah, we shouldn't have put it on there. This is
Yeah, because we're not on our home network.
live. That's here.
Not on our home network.
Here we are. Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. We didn't know whether we'd be able to get on live or not, but we're trying it. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Laura's here. Is it breakfast time there? Yes, it is. It is 9:06 in the morning, Monday. Monday, March the 25th. And Catherine's here. Hi, Catherine. Yes, we are enjoying the Gold Coast, Chris. And Kat says, yes, you've been live. Okay, so like I said, I didn't know it had gone to live. We had no idea whether the connection here in the hotel would work. This was an experiment. We thought we'd try it at this time of the morning since, well, you already know what time it is wherever you live. Hi, Cindy. So anyways, oh, Tracy's here too, so everybody's coming in. Okay, so I need my coffee. I'm still making my coffee. And don't mind me, I'm still eating my brekkie. We go out, we have an efficiency unit. And yes, it's peanut butter with cheese on it. Not Cheese Whiz though.
It's tasty cheese.
It's tasty cheese, yeah. That's what they call it. We've had it here before. It's their everyday run-of-the-mill cheese, I guess, you can buy in the grocery store. But actually, it truly is tasty.
It's actually really good quality cheese.
Mm-hmm. It's about the same price as we would pay. Okay, I got my coffee. All right. So, don't mind me. Cindy's here. Hello from America, she says. Catherine says it's 7:06 DST here on the East Coast. DST.
Well, it's 6 something DC time. I don't know.
Oh, wait, she means EST. Probably just hit the
Eastern
wrong button,
Standard
Eastern
Time.
Standard Time. Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a new time zone? I don't feel like I'm in the shot. Okay, I'm gonna get it right over. All right. Anyways, so, daylight savings time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, that's what Chris is calling.
Well, actually, we found out something interesting. I read somewhere because of the time zones here in that Sydney area is actually daylight savings time, and the area that we're in Queensland is not actually
Is not
daylight
actually.
savings time. So their time differences are different here.
So actually, we're what, from home? 14 hours ahead?
Yeah. Well, right now we're at 9:05 or whatever, 9:08.
And they're at 6.
Toronto is at 7:08 p.m.
Okay.
Sunday.
So it's more like,
and we're Monday.
and we're Monday. Okay. It gets confusing. So anyways, yep, let's get into what we've been up to.
We're enjoying 28 degrees today.
Mhm.
It's
At the
sunny.
moment.
It's sunny. A little bit overcast.
Phyllis says, good thing nobody scratched anything. Okay, I don't understand that either, Phyllis, but whatever. Yeah, so Catherine says, looks like you guys are getting a bit of sun. Yes.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm covered up. I wear a hat and everything, but it's. Still,
I've been wearing sunscreen though this time because I know what the sun's like here in Australia, and it goes
It is
poof.
really, really hot.
Actually, I haven't got that much. My arms are a little bit. My face always goes this color as soon as it
Yeah.
hits sunlight, no matter what part of the world I'm in. My legs, though, are still kind of pasty old man white legs.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's hard to get tan.
Yeah, even when we were in Florida, I didn't get any sun. My legs didn't seem to do anything. So, oh God, that's too bad. Because there's nothing worse than a pair of pasty old white man legs and shorts. It says, Laura says, well, it's spring here. Yeah, 8 degrees C today in the Schwa.
Yeah, well, apparently here, if it gets, we asked in Brisbane, they said, how cold does it get? The cab driver says, well, maybe 18.
Yeah, and they said, and they all bundle up. And we were in one store and we did see they had ski-style jackets for sale. They weren't what we're used to, but I just find it funny. Which is also funny because this is the land where they invented and market Uggs. And Uggs, I don't know, to me they're like a winter boot.
Yeah.
A stylish winter boot. But, I don't know, maybe they're not that warm.
Well, no, the other thing is they seem to, well, I guess it's like us. We tolerate the cold very well, whereas they can't tolerate the cold.
Oh yeah, Catherine says, we were watching you for a while and you didn't scratch.
Make that scratchy noise, maybe?
I still don't understand. Or what, do I scratch myself when we're doing live? Maybe, I have no idea. But anyway, so let's talk about what we've been up to and what we're doing later on. So, we arrived, no problem. The flight wasn't too bad.
It's bumpy.
It was bumpy, yeah, we hit a lot of turbulence.
And it's a little bit disconcerting when you're flying across the Pacific Ocean where it starts bumping up and down a lot. There were a couple of spots where it was pretty rough, too.
We did not luck out in terms of seating. Walter had booked, I think I mentioned this on one of the lives before, he booked in the center aisle, 3 seats across. He got us both on either aisle, so we had a seat in between us that was empty. And he did have a theory, and your theory was?
Well, I had read somewhere that if you book towards the back of the plane and you book that configuration, people don't want to sit between you, right? So, if possible, they'll avoid those seats, right? Now, there were about 4 or 5 rows ahead of us that were the same deal where people were sitting on either end of this aisle, and the middle seat was empty. But it just so happens that whoever decided to sit in between us. But the other thing is that they said that the airlines usually fill the seats from the front to the back. So that
Yeah,
didn't work.
That
this
didn't work
time.
out. We got some young guy.
It was okay though.
Yeah, he was fine. In fact, he was asleep most of the time. But it was awkward positions, and he was not one who had to get up every 5 minutes to go to the bathroom, which was great. Because
Actually, he lasted a long time. He lasted about 10 hours before he got up to go to the bathroom.
not as long as me.
No, I know. He lasted the whole flight, all 13 hours.
I have an aversion to small little bathrooms on an airplane for a number of reasons. One, they're small. I'm claustrophobic. Two, they stink. Three, I just don't like everybody watching me go down the aisle and stand outside waiting to get into a washroom, and I usually get in behind somebody who's just like, okay, we need to jettison that part of the plane because of whatever they did in there.
I think I went 4 times. But see, the thing is I also go to stand up to exercise my legs, so I'll go a little sooner than I really need to because it's because I've had 2 DVTs before, so I always like to go and make sure my blood is flowing. Plus, I drink more because I part of keeping your blood flowing is to drink a lot.
See, I tend to, and I know it's not good, I tend not to drink very much when I'm on a plane because then I have to go to the bathroom. I know it's stupid, but it's me. Someday, I think I've already discussed my bathroom phobias anyways with you a long time ago, and I'm not going to get into it today. That's a topic for another day for those of you that have never heard the story. But anyways, actually this is a nice backdrop.
Yeah, not bad.
The color's good.
Yeah.
It really shows off my
It's
shirt.
part
Nice.
of our headboard on the back there.
Yeah, well, that part over right here is headboard. This is the wall. But I'm talking about the color of the wall.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh, and Phyllis said about the scratching, she means adjust it your junk.
Oh, I didn't
You
notice
know.
that. Yeah, I know. But
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
notice that.
Well, no, we didn't do that. That's what I think they were thankful for. Well, that's not something that men actually consciously think about, all right? And, well, you've got junk to adjust. Bully for you. That's all I can say. Maybe it is a bragging thing. I don't know. So, anyways, finished my toast. There we go. So, let's see. What's people saying? Catherine says, what was the steam behind Walter when you were at those tiny tables along the river?
Oh, that was Misters.
Oh, that, okay. Yeah, those were misters. It's actually like a hose with these couplings on it that water runs through, and it's like a sprinkler system, except that the spray that comes out is so fine that it cools the air around you, but you don't really feel like you don't get wet.
Yeah, they have them in really hot areas of the United States as well, like what do you call it, Palm Springs and stuff like that. That's where we first.
That's the first time
and
we ever saw
encountered
those.
them. And that day we were there, it was pretty hot. We were on the river. It was about 32, 33 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they had these misters going, and it wasn't very windy, so it was kind of nice to be misted.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was the kind of nice. I always said I thought that we should have one of those in the summertime under our deck. Of course, mind you, we only get 3 days of heat, but they're kind of fun. I think they're kind of a cool idea. How's the cold? Oh, my cold is pretty much gone. I had enough drugs in my system on the airplane so I wouldn't cough and hack up a lung on everybody. Right now, I think what I have is not so much a cold as I think it's allergies. You'll notice I keep wipe my nose and I cough a little bit. It seems to happen in the first of the morning here and out. And I never used to have allergies, but as a kid. But I get this kind of thing in the spring, in around April, tail end of April, beginning of May, in our own country. So I'm just wondering if that's what I have here. It's not. I don't take anything for it. It isn't anything. It's just a little annoying, but it doesn't really incapacitate me in any way. I was just seeing what Tracy says. Oh, Catherine says, Stephen, we hear you loud and clear, but Walter is hard to hear. Oh. Here, I'll move the microphone up a little bit. There you go. So speak up. Oh, Tracy says, I thought it was Ghost Mist. And Phyllis says, my cousin is a pilot from United, and told me the smoothest ride is on the wing. No, not outside.
No.
Um,
Yeah, I realized that. We were sitting close to the back, so we may have actually felt worse because of where we were sitting.
oh, if we go to Bunnings, according to Chris, we can get those misters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get those at home. And then Phyllis says, as you grow older, when you travel, there are always diapers. Yeah, well, there was a few cases there where I think someone had filled their diapers too. I'm supposing it was a small child, but maybe not necessarily.
There wasn't too many annoying people on the plane. Other than that, there was a couple, older, sort of semi-older couple. They had a younger kid. I think it might have been a second marriage type of thing.
Yeah.
And the kid was extremely spoiled.
Oh, that's when you were telling about on
Yeah.
your side of the plane. I missed all that drama.
Yeah, there was one point in time where it was like, after the last breakfast, where we were just before we were going to land, he had the plastic forks and he was going like this up, and they were saying, and the father started yelling at the kid, and a stupid idiot was wearing one of those headsets, that cover your ears, so of course he can't hear himself yell, so he's really yelling loud at this kid, and then meanwhile the steward came by and said, there's no need for that, and it was kind of. That was the most tense thing in the plane.
I wonder if they were Aussies going home or if they
No,
were...
they didn't have an accent.
Oh. The only reason I say that too, and now I'm going to get hit by Chris and everybody else that comes from this country, and I'm not saying that they're any better in our country, but I have noticed children around here with their parents are a little bit less controlled. Now, maybe those were isolated cases. I don't know. And as I said, it happens in our country too. So I don't know. But just seemed to be like that couple that were in that one place. What was it? The Target. We found a Target here. Those kids that were grabbing the rails of the escalator from the outside and hanging upside down.
Like, dear, don't do that,
dear. Sweetie poo, honey, that. Like, I figured, okay, let him go all the way up he can, and he drops off, cracks his head open, he won't do it again, will he? I don't know, tough love. But anyways, I suppose we have lots of that in our own country too, millenniums, whatever, with it. But, okay, so we got into Brisbane at about, we got to our hotel room, what was it, about 8:30 in the morning?
Yeah, 8:30, and they actually had a room for us, so.
Yep. It's the same hotel chain that we're staying in here, the Meriton, and we've stayed at them before, and they're pretty good.
They're an efficiency unit. They have like a full kitchen area and washer and dryer and everything, and they're reasonably priced. And one we have here in the Gold Coast is a studio, which is just all one room. But the one we had in Brisbane was a one bedroom.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I booked the one bedroom because it was only about $10 more a night than the studio. So.
Well, this one we have a balcony too.
Yeah. As
you saw in the video yesterday. Right now, we could have done this probably out on the balcony. The only problem is it's very hot on the balcony right now. So I don't think you'd like that. Now, Chris.
I don't think we'd like
Chris
that.
says, Target is still Target. Only idiots call it Target. Chris, we call it Target as a joke because we're Canadian. And what's the second official language of Canada next to English? French. And anything in our country that ends in G-E-T is actually pronounced many times, at least in Ontario, not so much out west because they don't like the French, is je, Target. It's also a joke amongst Canadians that we're going to the States to go to Target for a couple of reasons. One, Target sucks. It's, as far as we're concerned, Target is like a Kmart, which we don't have anymore in Canada. And we did have Target in Canada for a while. They failed miserably in Canada.
It lasted a year.
So basically, we have several levels of why we call it Target.
We also do other things like we have a store in Canada called Canadian Tire, but we always call it Crappy
Tire. Yeah. So, yes, we're quite aware that it is called Target. But in Canada, you will hear Canadians refer to it as
Target.
And it's because we're being sardonic. when
Yeah,
we say
like
that.
we have another store called Giant Tiger. We call it the Big
The
Pussy.
Big Pussy, yeah. So, yeah, we're like that in Canada. We like to make up names for things, okay? Oh, she says, I know, I was being sarcastic. Okay. All right, we're on the same page then, Chris. Okay, good. So, got into the hotel room. We were pretty tired, but we did, because it was 8:30 in the morning.
I did actually sleep a little bit on the plane, so.
I tried. I did. I was sort of
You
in
were
and out.
snoring
I
at
don't
one
snore. I do not snore. I musically release air. It is not snoring. It's a musical thing. People come from miles around to hear me. I'm surprised you didn't start snoring because,
I may have been because I think I was drooling at one point when I woke up.
well, because the sides of the airplane would have been going ooh, ooh, ooh every time you breathe in and breathe out. Oh, and Chris says, like we call McDonald's Maccers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. We
don't call them.
we don't call them Maccers in
We'll
Canada.
call it Mickey D's.
We call it Mickey D's sometimes.
Or
Arf in a bag.
Scottish
But-
food.
Yeah, Scottish food. Sometimes we refer to it as, oh, we're going to have Scottish food. Yeah. But Maccers, yeah, because we hear that on the television, but we knew that from the other trips we were here too. So, and you have a Burger King here, but you don't call it Burger King, you call it Hungry Jack's. So,
Something to do, I think, with the license on the name Burger King.
yeah.
So when Burger King came here, they decided to change it to Hungry Jack's.
So when we got to Brisbane, I'm trying to, that seems like a week ago. Oh, it was.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that this morning in the bathroom. I thought, how long have we been here? We haven't even been here a week.
No, I know, it's just been,
It feels like it's been forever.
what did we do? We wandered.
We did a lot of walking.
Brisbane is a really nice city. Actually,
It's different than Melbourne and it's different than Sydney.
It's got different.
It
feel.
has some similarities to the way things are laid out, but it is actually a nice, compact little city.
Yeah, city of bridges, because it's right on a river, so there's all these different bridges that go across. Some are pedestrian, some are vehicle, and then some are a combination of the two. But
Somebody's the best city in it.
best city, Chris says best city in Australia. I think you're biased, but actually, you know, really, when I compare it to, let's see, we have been to Sydney.
We froze.
Oh shoot. Okay, I wondered when this was going to happen.
Anyway, so
Can you still hear us? We're probably frozen. That luxury you showed us looked awesome, Catherine says. So I guess you can still hear us, but we're frozen, aren't we? Cindy says yes. I don't know what's going to happen, people. I don't know if this is going to... They can hear us. Okay. You may have to stare at our picture then while we talk. We're not going to make this a long live anyways, because we just can't. But you can hear us. All right, we're just going to carry on. Maybe it'll unfreeze itself. I have a feeling it won't. But whatever. So anyways, the cities. Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth are all the big cities we've been to. Now Brisbane, now the Gold Coast. Every one of them is very unique. Every one of them has a little different feel to it. But I think out of the ones we've been to so far, I think Brisbane I kind of like the best.
I liked Adelaide too.
Well, Adelaide was nice too, as well. Yeah. Well, they're all nice.
They're all nice. Actually, even Melbourne was nice. All of them were nice in their own way. But Brisbane was very nice too. And it was funny because when we met this couple on the other end of Australia in Perth, when we mentioned Brisbane, they kind of poo-pawed it.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, why would you want to go there? And so I kind of wondered, when we booked this trip, I kind of wondered, should we actually be bothering with Brisbane? But actually, it was a nice surprise then.
Yeah.
So they were biased because they were living in Perth. So
Yeah, probably with it. But anyways, they're all very nice. And let's see. So we wandered around the city, and Laura says it's now a podcast we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would try to do something here, but I'm afraid I'll lose you completely, so we'll just put up with it. But we'll only talk for maybe another 5 minutes, and then off we'll go. Anyways, went around, did all the sights of Brisbane. Still find that the way Australians eat's a little different from the way we do.
Seems to be hard to find a place that has like dinner type salads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of like burgers, pizza, that sort of thing. I mean, there's Italian food, there's Thai food, all
Like
that
there
other
is,
stuff.
right, but it's the mannerism, the way they do it. I think that Australians graze. Basically, I think it's a slightly different mentality as to why you go out for food. I think it's very social. I think they go with large groups, family and friends, and I think they go to drink a lot. I don't know whether Australians really work or not because at we're out in the morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and it looks like people are grabbing coffee. They consume mass amounts of coffee here. There is a coffee place every 10 meters, I swear. And it's
There seems to be an awful lot of business people on the road
yeah. Do they?
at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is, I mean, it's
Well, they
like
look like
that
they're
in
going to
Toronto.
work. They look like they're going to work at that
Yeah.
time. Maybe people here go in later, work later. I don't know. And then in around 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so, places are filling up, and people are having drinks. It looks like, not necessarily a lot of food. So I don't really know. But I mean, not that I'm complaining. It's just very different from what we come from. But that's okay. Chris says, we love our coffee.
Afternoon tea time.
Morning tea time, afternoon tea time. And Chris says, you will love Noosa. Beachy and relaxed. They had a little beach erosion from recent storms, but I think the main areas you guys will be going to should be okay. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to it all. So anyways, we've been actually only eating about one meal a day. Because we're staying in efficiency units, we just buy some bread and we have some peanut butter and jam and there's coffee in the room and stuff like that. And then we go out. We usually have lunch.
A large lunch.
A large lunch, around 1 in the afternoon or 2, depending. And we have not been going out much at night. We probably should, but we're so damn tired from everything we're walking around. Just kind of come back and drink, a little wine, some beer.
Relax.
And relax and whatnot. And then if we sometimes, then we start to graze a little bit.
It may change a little bit when we go up to that Noosa area or something like that, because we have breakfast included, so we'll have sort of a big meal in the morning, and then maybe we'll want to eat later in the evening.
You don't have to look at me while we talk. They can't see us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, really. We could be sitting here completely naked, and they would never know. Well, maybe that's best that they don't. Chris says most of us get morning and afternoon tea breaks as well as lunch during our workday.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
well,
so maybe that's
a
what it is.
lot of times when I worked in an office in Toronto, we basically had we didn't have scheduled breaks, and it was frowned upon if you took a break. So we were always kind of chained to our desk.
Yeah, chained to your desk. Yeah, but anyway, so maybe that makes people more productive
actually, you
too.
know what? I think it's good because when you work for a long period of time and you're stuck not going anywhere, like in a work environment, you get less and less productive.
Yeah.
And I think if you take a good little break, 15-minute break or something like that, that you'll actually go back refreshed and do a little better.
Well, as a teacher, and Laura would know that, we don't get breaks. We didn't get anything. We were lucky if we even got any kind of time for lunch.
Yeah, but you only worked short hours, 9 to 3.
Okay, you want me to bite you now. Bite you hard. Laura says, well, considering the shitstorms that are happening in education here in Ontario, maybe I should move to Australia. Yeah, maybe. I'm glad I'm not teaching anymore. But, so we wandered the city. We saw everything that I think that we needed to see. And you saw that in the videos already. And my goal is that I will post a video every day. So far it's happening. The connection hasn't been too bad. When we test the speed on it, with the exception of what we're doing right now, it's not that great. But it seems to be able to upload to it with, it's not fast, but it does do it. So anyways, so then we got the rented car yesterday, and you heard me say on the video from yesterday on our way here to the Gold Coast, and we had a little problem with our credit card on renting the car. And we had the same exact problem when we rented a car in Florida back a couple of months ago. And in that video, I blamed it upon the Americans and blah, blah. Actually, we've been thinking about it, and we think we're being scammed by the rental company because they want you to buy their insurance plan. which has a very high deductible, costs a fair amount of money. But we have a credit card that gives us that coverage. But when we tell them that, and then they're plugging in the card number, somehow the card gets rejected. And it seems to get rejected when they put in those three, supposedly put in the three numbers
at the back of the
at
card.
the back of the card, the CVV, what they call CVV, and that kind of stuff. And, well, what's your theory?
Well, no, and the one in, when it happened in Florida, the credit card company told me that they had entered the wrong CVV number, right? And all of a sudden, or whoever entered the wrong, and it caused it to decline, right? So, again, when I went to rent this car, they said, well, about the extra insurance, and I said, well, I had it on my credit card. And so they said, oh, fine, and they go to plug it in, and suddenly it gets declined again.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly she phoned a number and to try and get it through and stuff, and then it declined again. Then they had some sort of a story that, oh, well, their charges all go through the States. Well, I already told my credit card company that I would be using my card in Australia, so I immediately, in my mind, they're thinking, oh, well, it's not Australia, so they're thinking it's being compromised. But that I'm throwing things at it at my end. But what I think the credit card the car companies are doing is, oh, well, you want to use your insurance on your credit card. Well, we'll decline your card and you'll have to buy our insurance.
Yeah, because that seems to be where they make a lot of their money, is selling you this insurance a whole bit. So
like I was sort of stuck without a credit card that has car insurance on it. I only had one. And so, yeah, we opted to pay for the regular their insurance because we didn't really have any other choice. So I'm very annoyed with this, and I'm gonna have to find out much more detail about all of this before I make my decision whether I keep my card or not. And but I have a feeling it's the car companies that are scamming you. In this case, it was Avis, and in Florida, it was. In Florida, it was Alamo. So
yeah, so there seems to be something fishy.
And what was weird is, like, we drove from Brisbane to the Gold Coast. I used the same credit card to pay for the hotel room,
and no problem.
And no problem.
Yeah. So it's not like we don't have several different cards we can use, but the fact was that card we wanted to use for the car because of the insurance coverage that we get with it. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a what do you call it?
Scam.
Yeah, scam. Chris says, my daughter is a teacher. Generally, teachers feel like education system here sucks. She's been teaching in the UK for the last 2 years now, says, and can't wait to return to teach in Australia. I think the education system in most countries in the world, in the public education system, there are lots of flaws in them because they're all run by governments, and governments will do whatever they can to save money, so they say, because they all have deficits, don't you know? And two things get cut the most, at least in Canadian society, and I think it's probably the same in other places in the world, are healthcare and education. So anyways, we got the car, we got here, we walked around, and today we're off to supposedly a huge fabric store called Phoebe's?
Fifi.
Oh, sorry, Fifi. Fifi's. We're going to Fifi's Fabric.
Fifi's Fabricology. And it's in a store that's south of us, south of the Gold Coast, in Burleigh Heads, Queensland. And they also apparently do online. They do a lot of online selling as well. So we're going to give that a go. I picked that one. There's another store that's closer to us, but it seems to have a lot of dressmaking fabric and stuff.
Yeah.
This one seems to cater a lot to quilters. So.
Yeah, so we're going to try that in a bit here, once we get off the air here. And yeah, I'm looking for some fabrics that have a unique Australian flavor to them. As I said before, last time we went, I collected tea towels and made a quilt out of that. But I don't want tea towels. I want, regular quilting cotton standard fabric. So we'll see if I can find something that's that shouts out Australia, then I will purchase it. And what else we do today, we don't know yet. But we're here till Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday. Then from there we drive to News Ahead. And it's a resort place and kind of deal. I think that's the most, we have what, 2 nights there?
Yeah, that's our most expensive hotel.
Yeah, there. It's very much a tourist resorty kind of place from what we know about it. So anyway, Phyllis says, not beneath any company to scam the customer. Look at Wells Fargo. Yeah, never dealt with them, but yeah, that's, you know. And of course, Avis is an American company. Alamo is American company. And, well, do I need to say more?
Well, I don't know. I think it's not just that. I think it's the nature of the business. I think they're doing underhanded tactics. They get you in the door for a good price for the rental car, and then they upsell you with all kinds of other stuff. So
yeah. So, anyways, I think we should cut this now off since you've been staring at us not moving for a while. But we just want to try to see if we could do a live. And apparently we can with some problems. So we'll do another live later on, not today, but a few days down the road or whatever. But I am going to post what we do each day as best I can to keep everybody in the loop if you're interested. And anyways, we're having a good time here in Australia, and many more days to go and many more things to see. And so hope to talk to you guys soon. And have a good...
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
It's kind of a ad hoc, at the last minute kind of thing.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it was going to work or not. Well, it semi-worked. So, okay. So we're going to go. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye. You're going to let me stop it now.